Pitt commit Kenny Minchey is in Los Angeles, California this week. He's competing in the Elite 11 finals, which is a meeting of the top 20 or so quarterbacks in the country in the senior class of this year, 2023, the incoming senior class, 2023. Kenny didn't enter as the biggest name attending this event, but he is slowly but surely building his reputation as one of the better signal callers in this class. Reports from Los Angeles indicate that he's not doing it necessarily with the same flash that these other 4 and 5-star talents committed to big brand name schools are. But Kenny's accuracy, his dependability, his mechanics have really helped him stand out and build a reputation that will help him rise up some of these rankings. On day one, reports called him accurate and, again, mechanically sound, but also what I found really notable was in tune with his receivers and knowledgeable about what kind of ball needs to be thrown in what situation. Greg Biggins of 24/7 Sports said that Minchey's able to change speeds when needed. So it means, he's not throwing 90 miles an hour into the flats or underneath. He is putting some touch on the ball. He is throwing softly and allowing his guys to get run after the catch if the situation calls for it. But then also, throwing the bullets, going outside on long throws to the sidelines and stuff like that. I thought that was something that really showed up on Kenny's high school film, especially his junior year tape. He has good touch on the ball, on deep balls and stuff like that. Not necessarily the strongest arm that you will ever see, but an accurate one, and one that, again, can provide some good touch. So again, while he's not lighting the radar gun up or going to wow you with his arm talent necessarily, or arm strength, I should say, he has some talent throwing the ball that I don't think is immediately apparent to everyone who looks at Kenny and watches him play. In day two is where Kenny really started to turn heads, according to reports out of Los Angeles. He won the Pro Day event that the Elite 11 held on that day. He got the highest grade from the Elite 11 staff of coaches and scouts. John Garcia of SI.com said that Kenny showed balance, strong footwork, and a rhythm that others in the field, and this is a direct quote, could not contend with. And that is a really high compliment, I think, coming from Garcia, especially when you consider the level of competition and the caliber of player that Kenny is competing with at this event. 4 and 5-star talents across the board, committed to places like Oklahoma, Clemson, Miami, schools like that have recruited really well over the past couple of years. These big brand names that we have all kind of become accustomed to landing these big quarterback talents, these big time quarterback talents. Again, I also think it's notable that none of these events at the Elite 11 will highlight a big part of Kenny's game, which is running with the football. He's a good scrambler. He is creative, and then also just a strong runner in general. He runs with power. He's a 6'1", 207-pound quarterback. He's strong, thick. He has power, if not necessarily finesse, and a ton of breakaway speed. Still a talented runner, but you don't get a glimpse of that when you're just watching him kind of throw on air or against a skeleton defense at the Elite 11. There is no tangible value to earning Elite 11 MVP honors. Minchey is on the outside looking in at that kind of top 11. The Elite 11 staff and scouts and coaches there, they release their grades and their top 11 rankings at the end of each day. And at this time, Kenny is on the outside looking in at that top 11. So he has a ways to go if he wants to win those MVP honors. But still, everything Kenny does that is positive during these next few days is a plus for himself and for Pitt. He enters this week as a 3-star recruit on Rivals in 24/7. He is a 4-star on 24/7's composite ranking, but still 3-star primarily by those other ratings. And this could really help him, see a boost in his rankings, add another star, something like that. Again, while there's no practical benefit to it, there is a perception benefit to it for him. He just looks better. He uh, gets a better reputation and can add that to his resume. It's a personal accomplishment, but then also for Pitt, it helps their 2023 recruiting class look a little bit better, and that has a bunch of kind of trickle down effects, into college, into perception of the program, perception of the class, recruiting, things like that. Perception can mean a lot more in college sports than it can in professional sports, so it's not something to overlook when you see Kenny performing well and turning heads at these events. And when he is mentioned as Kenny Minchey Pitt commit, that's important. That matters. That matters to have someone on that national stage with so much attention being paid to this event. And not just to be on the stage, but to be playing well at that stage, as is apparently true. And the last thing I want to touch on about Kenny at this event is that he's competing against a lot of quarterbacks in the class of 2023 that are going to be hanging around the ACC for a while. Jaden Rashada is a 5-star Miami commit. Emory Williams is another Miami commit. Chris Fizana, he's pledged to Clemson. Chris Parson, an FSU commit. And Pierce Clarkson, who is headed to Louisville next year. All of these guys are at the event. They make up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 20 quarterbacks there. So 6 of the 20 quarterbacks at the Elite 11 event are going to be going to an ACC school after their senior year, which starts this fall. And Kenny's outperforming a lot of these guys, at least according to the reports that we see from guys like Garcia and Biggins, excuse me. Emory Williams is really the only one who is consistently ranked ahead of Minchey. He was by Garcia and Biggins through the first couple days. Minchey's at 7th. Williams is kind of closer to the top 10 or the top 5, excuse me. But if you are a Pitt fan, that has to be encouraging that clearly the quarterback of the future, quote unquote, you have to see what happens when he gets on campus and actually starts competing and playing college football. But that has to make you feel good that he is outperforming these guys who are kind of his peers in the ACC and in this league. It certainly has to be an encouraging sign that he has played, quite frankly, better than them at this event so far, at this summit of kind of the elite quarterbacks in the country. So Minchey has one more day of workouts in Los Angeles. He will wrap those up today and see where the chips fall at the end with the final rankings. But for right now, it seems like Minchey is at least putting on a good show and working to improve his stock as a recruit in the class of 2023. That's all I have for Inside the Panthers. I'm Stephen Thompson.